This is a presentation by the Kiowa County Media Center.
Hello and welcome to a great game between Hallie Hedrick and the Kiowa County Lady Mavericks and the Ashland Lady Blue Jays led by junior Kanan Endicott. We will be back shortly to let you know what to watch for in this exciting game, but first, let's break to meet this year's Mavericks team. Welcome back as we approach the tip-off between the Kiowa County Lady Mavericks and the Ashland Lady Blue Jays. So far this season, Kiowa County sits at 7-8, just under a 500 record, and Ashland's record as 12-5.
Kiowa County is coming off a great win on Friday against Fowler, where they won 50-47. Hallie Hedrick led the team with 13 points and 2 three-pointers. Ashland is coming off a tough loss at Meade, where they lost by 8 points.
And I just spoke with Stacey Durstein, the coach for the Mavericks, right before this game, and she said that Ashland actually led by as many as 15 in that game against Meade up until the fourth quarter, and they really just fell short, and Meade came back and beat them by 8 points. It was quite a big comeback for Meade. This game, we are going to be watching for some star players. Hallie Hedrick, as you have heard several times this season, still leads the Lady Mavericks. She is a strong senior and really puts up great statistics for her team. And for Ashland, junior Kanan Endicott is one of their strongest players, as well as seniors Elizabeth McKinney and Nicole Borgelt. Stacey Durstein also told me before the game that Ashland relies a great deal on their three-point game. They will live and die by it. A lot of teams have that issue that when they're on, it really benefits them, but when they're off, they can't find other ways to score. So hopefully Mavericks tonight can find a way to prevent them from shooting those three-pointers and keep the score more even, but also giving Hallie Hedrick an opportunity to answer with a few threes of her own.
I think Coach Durstein's probably hoping Ashland comes out in a zone, as Hallie Hedrick really has a lot of success against zone defenses. She's allowed time to set up. She can hit from about anywhere on the court.
And it doesn't look like Ashland has a great deal more height than the Mavericks do tonight, so their posts ought to be able to pair up very competitively in the lane. And now we are going to take you to the national anthem, followed by the lineups for both teams.
At this time, if you would stand for the Star-Spangled Banner. Under the direction of Tim Rogers, the high school band. Starters for the night's ball game between the visiting Ashland High School Lady Blue Jays and your hometown Lady Maverick basketball team. For Ashland, number 5'5" senior Elizabeth McKinney. For Lady Mavericks, number 0, 5'5" junior Caitlin Gamble. For Lady Blue Jays, number 20, a 5'9" senior Kara Reimer. For the Mavericks, number 13, a 5'9" junior, Heather Melton. For Ashland, number 21, a 5'7" sophomore, Shelby Lurman. For Lady Mavericks, number 22, a 5'2" junior, Ryan Heft. For Lady Blue Jays, number 24, a 5'6" senior, Nicole Borgelt. For Kiowa County, number 23, a 5'7" senior, Hallie Hedrick. And for Ashland, number 32, a 5'7" junior, Kanan Endicott. And for Lady Mavericks, number 34, a 5'6" junior, Dina Liggett. Ashland's coached by Carrie Kay, assisted by Janica Knoll. Lady Mavericks coached by Stacy Durstein, assisted by Kim Hill.
Welcome back to this game between the Kiowa County Lady Mavericks and the Lady Ashland Blue Jays. As we mentioned earlier, Kiowa County is coming off of a win against Fowler last week, and Ashland is coming off of a close loss to Meade. Sounds like they really struggled toward the end of the game and allowed Meade to come back in. So even if Kiowa County is down early, I wouldn't count them out because Ashland has been known to drop games toward the end, and Kiowa County might have a chance to come back and make it a close game. Kanan Endicott is a junior, number 32 for Ashland. You'll want to be watching for her. She leads scoring, and number 23 for the Mavericks. Hallie Hedrick is a senior that leads for Kiowa County. And Kiowa County gets the tip-off, and Dina Liggett finds a quick shot, rebounded by Heather Melton as she puts it in. That is one thing that Stacy Durstein said she was really happy with Heather Melton the other night. She worked hard, she had 7 rebounds, and she's really improved throughout the year. Kanan takes it and dishes it off quick on the baseline. Number 5, Elizabeth McKinney, brings in Ashland's first 2 points of the game. And Ashland starts out in a pretty easy press to break for the Mavericks. And Dina Liggett takes her second shot, and this one falls. That is quick, solid ball movement for the Mavericks, making good passes and breaking through that press early.
The Mavericks really look calm and not rattled by the press at all.
They look ready to play defense as well. Ashland shoots in the lane, but it doesn't have anybody to help out their player with a rebound. Ryan Heft gets it into Heather Melton. The ball's mishandled. That was a tough pass in. She didn't give it on the right side, of Heather where she needed it. It got tipped, and that is why there was a jump ball, and it's back to Ashland. Ashland works to break the Mavericks press. Mavericks have a pretty loose press as well, and Hallie Hedrick gets an early foul. The Mavericks cannot afford to have Hallie Hedrick in foul trouble early on.
The Mavericks press to me looks more like a press just to slow them down, not really to trap or cause too many turnovers, just to keep them from pushing up too fast.
Out of bounds play comes up short for Ashland. Ball's given back to Heather. That was a shot by Nicole Borgelt. She is another that you should watch for Ashland tonight, another strong senior. The Mavericks find Heather right under the basket. That was really misplacement by Ashland Blue Jays. They didn't have a single girl all the way back on defense. And with somebody as tall and as athletic as Heather Melton is, they've really got to have somebody back there to defend her.
Dina Liggett just picked up her first foul.
Stacy Durstein is deeper with her guards on the bench, but she certainly doesn't want her main players to be getting in foul trouble early. Nice hustle play from Ryan Heft. She does hit it out of bounds, and Ashland gets it back on their sideline. Looks like the Mavericks have now matched up in man. And Caitlin Gamble almost takes off with a steal. And Heather Melton has a block under the basket, out of bounds under Ashland's basket.
The Mavericks didn't really go for the ball there. They had every opportunity to take it and go,
no,
but they didn't.
A long shot off of the side from Nicole Borgelt goes long. Mavericks are working to pass the ball around, start running some offense. I think this is the first time they've set up an offense this game. And Caitlin Gamble is fouled on her shot.
Nice composure showed there by Caitlin not to travel.
She was strongly guarded, but she knew to try to go up with that shot once they had given up the initial guarding.
That foul was on Cara Reimer.
Gamble makes her first shot. 7-2, Mavericks out to a quick lead. I think this might be a surprise for Ashland. I think that they expected to show up and really handle Mavericks pretty easily, and it looks like it's going to be a close game. And Gamble hits her second free throw as well. Ashland working to break the press pretty easily once again. Quick shot from Ashland is not made, but Mavericks get the rebound.
Great effort there by Heather Melton as she comes up the court now.
Those are small things that she hasn't done in the past that she's really started doing later in this season, really going after that ball, and with her long wingspan, she just has the advantage over others. Ashland shoots up a three. It doesn't fall as well. I'm starting to see that dependence on the threes that Coach Durstein talked about before the game. I think that's either the third or the fourth attempt, and not one of them has gone in so far.
They also rebound really hard. They know that they might not shoot a great percentage, but they get a lot of junk points.
Nicole Borgelt is on the line for Ashland. She makes her first free throw.
That was Dina Liggett's second foul.
That is not a place that Stacy Durstein wants Dina Liggett to be in. One thing that the younger Liggett sister really brings to the game is an energy and a speed that isn't always there with all the other players. Mishandled rebound from Gamble, but Heather Melton ends up with the rebound.
Chelsea Oberle's into the game for Dina Liggett.
She's another senior for these Mavericks. Number 5, Oberle really struggled in the last home game that we had, but Coach Durstein said that she had a strong game against Fowler last week. Will hopefully perform that way again today. Missed shot from Gamble is picked up by Ashland. Elizabeth McKinney dribbles down. She is the other senior that you should look for tonight. She has good stats for her team this year.
Chelsea Oberle caught following the screen there, got trapped behind her girl. Katie Larsh entering the game for Heather Melton.
It'll be interesting to see if next time when they make that cut, if Oberly will be able to lead her through rather than follow.
Angela Liggett also into the game.
Baseline shot from McKinney. That was great defense from Shelby Luerman on the sideline. She was ready and waiting for Ryan Heft. Caused her to mishandle, but Mavericks still have the ball. Hallie Hedrick brings it down, and Mavericks are showing good patience, really working the ball around, looking for opportunities. Hallie Hedrick shoots up her first three. She was quite a ways behind the line.
Yeah,
it
really nice form though.
Yeah. This is a very three-dependent team. Luerman takes it to the basket and is fouled on her attempt. And that was called on Katie Larsch. She is a senior for the Mavericks team. Luerman misses her first free throw. Luerman's second shot goes in and out, and Mavericks get the rebound. Angela Liggett is now into the game, another senior for the Mavericks. Ryan Heft takes the ball into the basket, but I believe it was tipped on her attempt.
Kind of an ill-advised shot. She was going up against a much taller girl.
And she had one of her teammates there as a post. That was kind of an awkward position. Ashland is trying to slow down and set up their own offense. They prefer to keep shooting. Doesn't look like they're very comfortable in a long setup offense. Baseline shot from Endicott. It falls short, and a steal from Luerman. As just a sophomore, Luerman really seems to play the whole floor and has gotten her hand on several.
They're a very aware team. They always know where the ball is, and they're always trying to go after it.
Which could be a problem for the Mavericks, who sometimes aren't as careful as where they're throwing the ball. Hallie Hedrick is finding a trap, but working her way out of it. She passes over to Ryan Heft, who tries to make a pass down to Katie Larsch, but doesn't see a defender coming across the lane.
Would have been nice if she would have taken a shot right there.
She was wide open. That's a shot she needs to take rather than taking it into the post and getting blocked.
It also would take some pressure off the post, so she would take a shot.
There's another baseline attempt that is made by Kanan Endicott. She has a maturity with the ball, able to find good shots. A steal from Ashland.
The Mavericks aren't effectively breaking the press right now. They look a little confused.
And it looked pretty easy toward the beginning of the game, so I'm not sure what changed, whether Ashland stepped up their defense or if Mavericks have gotten lazy. It's a shot in the middle of the lane by Kanan Endicott. I'm starting to see how she can hurt teams with her scoring.
Yeah.
That time Mavericks did break the press. Chelsea Oberly is blocked. She waited just a little bit too long to take that shot opportunity.
A ball fake right there might have been effective for her.
Hopefully next time she'll recognize that. Ashland passes it in to Endicott. You can tell that a lot of their plays are focused on getting her open, having her move and come off of a screen for a shot. Three seconds is called by Angela Liggett.
Caitlin Gamble and Heather Melton back into the game for Hallie Hedrick and Katie Larsch.
That's an unfortunate call against Angela Liggett as one of the main seniors for this Maverick team. They can't afford to get calls like 3 seconds in the lane against a team that's really pushing back, and 8-7 is the score now. Ashland is starting to match points with the Mavericks. Heather Melton is back in the game, and she started off the scoring for the Mavericks. A foul into the basket, I believe, on Chelsea Oberly against number 22, Bailey Johnson of Ashland. Johnson is a junior for the Lady Blue Jays. She makes her first free throw. Mackenzie Rose checks into the game for Chelsea Oberly. Johnson misses her second free throw. Angela Liggett gets the rebound. Rose picks up her dribble. That's not a good place you want to pick up your dribble. Strong pass into Heather Melton, and she is fouled on the attempt. She rolled high on that post move, but if she would have rolled low, I think she would have been open for a shot.
Something I've noticed from watching these girls play before is Heather frequently rolls high. It's her comfort zone.
You just have to, as a post, to learn, recognize just by the feel of where the defender is, which direction you should roll.
That was the second foul on Cara Reimer.
Cara is another strong senior for the Blue Jays. I'm sure the Ashland coach does not want her in foul trouble either.
It's unfortunate Hallie's not in the game right now. It looks like the Blue Jays are in a 2-3 zone.
That is where Hallie really is able to take her three-point baskets, and it takes a couple to get her in a rhythm at the beginning of the game. Caitlin Gamble takes a good jumper at the top of the key, but it rolls in and out.
That was a nice shot. We don't see her shoot from there very often.
Yeah, she has a comfort in the post moves, really making contact with the big post from the other team. Ashland works it in to Endicott on the block.
The Blue Jays called out a man offense, but the Mavericks right now are in a matchup zone.
Another three. It's rebounded, but that is taking us to the end of the first quarter. The score is tied 8-8. Mavericks started out fast at the beginning, but Ashland has answered and come back to tie the game. And we will be back after these commercials.
For the Kiowa County Media Center, and I want to tell you about some exciting opportunities to support your hometown Mavericks during this season's live basketball coverage. Options range from 5-second slides to sponsoring a pregame show. Does your business need a commercial? Is it time to showcase your latest products? Let the Media Center produce a professional ad that can be used for more than just our broadcasts. Your logo can be seen like never before by sponsoring replays, fan cam, and even owning the scoreboard for the night. Parents, get involved with the personalized slides using pictures and messages to support your Maverick. Halftime reports and pregame shows are another great new way to let viewers know what your business is all about. If you'd like to know more about how the Media Center can help you showcase your Maverick spirit, contact me, Jessica Harris, at 620-723-1117 or by email at jessica.harris@kwksmedia.org. Go Mavericks!
Welcome back to the second quarter of this game between the Kiowa County Lady Mavericks and the Ashland Lady Blue Jays. You can follow the Kiowa County Media Center on Twitter. Join the conversation, Media Center, and it could be seen on the broadcast. Mavericks started out the game with an early lead, making some quick shots right at the beginning, but haven't scored for quite some time, and Ashland has answered and tied up the ball game.
Interesting choice to leave Mackenzie Rose in the game. She doesn't usually play a lot of minutes.
I think part of that is because Dina Liggett has 2 fouls early on, and Stacy Durstein wants to save her for the more important quarters, honestly, toward the end of the game.
That was the first foul on Nicole Borgelt for the Lady Blue Jays.
That was a pretty weak inbounds play ran by the Mavericks. They didn't set good screens and they didn't cut hard to the ball, and Ryan Heft got in trouble and ended up throwing it in under the basket, and it hit off, and I don't think any Maverick team hit it.
I'd be interested to see exactly where it hit if it was already out of bounds when she threw it in.
If the ball was already out of bounds?
When she hit the back of the backboard.
Because that would automatically be out of bounds in Ashland's ball. Heft is really causing trouble for Luerman off of the dribble.
Well, Ryan doesn't have any fouls right now. She can afford to apply a little pressure and maybe slow down their offense a little bit.
And in the past, she's been smart with how she's handled her defense, playing tough but giving some space when she needs to and not getting those silly fouls.
She really knows how to lead the team pretty well.
Angela Liggett gets a block, but it's rebounded by Ashland. Nobody was prepared to box out under Ashland's basket. And it's passed out of bounds on the attempt to break the press by the Mavericks. Katie Larson, Hallie Hedrick come off the bench. Rose and Angela Liggett check out. Coach Durstein has put Heather Melton on Kanan Endicott, and I believe it's for the rebounding and having a hand a little bit higher up to stop those quick shots she takes.
Something Ashland does really well is after every rebound, they start playing defense right away, and it's really throwing the Mavericks off.
Shot from the top of the key is made by Hallie Hedrick. Her first three-point basket of the game and her first shot of the game that has been made for the Mavericks. That's what they really need from their leader. 11-10, Mavericks lead by 1.
And she hadn't had a lot of time to set up, so she can start shooting a little bit quicker. She could really help her team out.
That's one thing we were discussing before the game, that Hallie Hedrick does better when she has a chance to set up and think about her three-point shot. If it's on the move, she brings it around, kind of swinging it, and it doesn't connect as well.
That was an interesting call. The girl that lost the ball actually then retained the ball again, which would be a travel.
And a timeout is called, a 30-second from Ashland. Score is 11-10 Mavericks, and we'll be back after this timeout.
For Kiowa County Athletics.
Go Mavericks!
Here at Home Lumber at 715 East Kansas, we support Kiowa County Athletics. Go Mavericks!
Centerra Bank is a full-service community bank located on Main Street in Greensburg, proudly supporting Kiowa County schools. Go Mavericks!
First Baptist Church of Greensburg, advancing the kingdom of God.
After that short 30-second timeout taken by the Ashland Blue Jays, I think that their coach is just not happy with how her girls were handling the ball. Mavericks are staying in this game, 11-10, they lead. 5:48 left in the second. You can connect with the Media Center on Facebook. You can like their page and you'll get involved with what they're doing in the community. Ashland gets their own rebound again, and that was a foul called on Ryan Hepp. That was a close call. She made a little bit of contact initially, but when he called it, she already had the ball in her hands.
I would call that pretty minimal contact for a foul after so much they've let go.
And that's another guard for the Mavericks that has a foul. Corner pass in from Ashland.
McKinney just caught the ball on her hip in between dribbles right there, which again is a carry.
Shot right off of the free throw line by Endicott. She now has 6 points, half of her team's points. Mavericks really have got to contain her if they plan to stay in this game. Hallie Hedrick takes a forced shot that I think was tipped off of the wing. Caitlin Gamble takes a shot right under the basket. She misses, but then out of her frustration, she gets an over-the-back call and picks up her first foul. Oh, I believe that's actually her second foul. No, maybe it's her first. I misread that. That is her first foul.
I think the Mavericks are a little frustrated right now. They're having trouble against Ashland. They're not rebounding hard enough, and Ashland rebounds very hard. They're going after every ball like it's theirs.
This is a bonus shot already with 5 minutes left in the second quarter for the Mavericks. They really need to hold off on the fouling if they plan to keep them off the line. Post move falls short from Katie Larsh. She made a good turnaround shot, but she just didn't have quite enough power to complete it. A three-point shot finally falls for McKinney of Ashland. I think that's their first three-point shot to fall, though they've shot quite a few. 15-11, Ashland is now in the lead.
Ashland has such active hands.
They
not
do.
going to let lazy passes get through.
I think rather than inspiring the Mavericks to do better, they're really getting lazy and frustrated. Another three-point shot quickly puts Ashland up 7 points on the Mavericks. That was Endicott off of the wing, and Gamble needs to get it across half court, and they do.
Ashland does a nice job of scoring in transition.
Hallie Hedrick did a great job being composed, dribbling out of the trap into the lane and getting a quick jump shot.
They're going to have to find shots there in the middle. That's where it's mostly open right now.
That last three-pointer that was made by Endicott, she had a hand up in her face, Heather Melton did, but she's just got to get closer to her, not giving her an opportunity to score.
Heather has a tough assignment tonight. Endicott's a great player.
One thing I've noticed from this Ashland team is that they have several solid ball handlers. Both of the seniors in Endicott are really comfortable with taking the ball, dribbling around, looking for opportunities.
Katie Larsh was caught out of position right there. She didn't cut off the sideline very well and got a charge, or blocking foul.
That is her second foul also. I think that's either 3 or 4 of the Maverick players that have 2 fouls already. Shooting 1 and 1.
Katie and Dina both have 2 right now, but a lot of players have 1.
Nicole Borgelt missed her first opportunity on the 1 and 1. Mavericks got the rebound. They've really got to cut down the lazy passes. Hedrick shoots it again at the top of the key. I think she would have had only 2 points there, but it falls short.
It was a nice shot, but again, there was only 1 Maverick down to rebound.
Travel was called on Ashland. I thought that Ashland might really take advantage of those back-to-back threes to gain some momentum for their team, but they seem to just kind of be pretty comfortable and almost too much so. They really needed to use that energy to start on a bigger lead. 5 points is not much of a lead. Another steal from Ashland.
Again, to me, another example where the Mavericks are not meeting their passes. They're making the steals, almost just giving them away. They're easy.
And Ashland has made it evident that if they are going to settle for lazy passes, they're going to be more than happy to take it from them. Endicott takes another guarded shot at the top of the key.
That is her 11th point of the Ashland Blue Jays' 20 points.
I do not actually know what her season career high either one are, but I would imagine she often scores quite a few points in a game.
I looked at several stats before the game, and she had many games in the high teens. A recent game, she scored 18.
I think she might break the 20-point mark tonight if she keeps shooting like she has so far. Ryan Heft forced the last shot for the Mavericks. Endicott shoots a 3. It does not go in, and Hallie Hedrick picks up the rebound. One thing about Hallie Hedrick is she's not necessarily under the basket to get the rebounds, but she's really in the right position, goes toward the ball, and secures several rebounds that could go to the other team.
She has a high basketball IQ, you can tell.
On that last play, Endicott probably should have been called for a reach. Endicott fakes it in, takes it, and she is well guarded. That was a good job by the Mavericks. 3 players were ready to defend Endicott. She takes a quick jumper at the top of the key again. Her team really looks to rely on her. 22-13. Just before break, 50 seconds. Mavericks are looking to try to add some more points. And Hallie Hedrick misses at the top of the key. She tried to have a foul called against the defender who boxed her out, but they didn't call it.
To me, it didn't look like the officials were watching at the top of the key and they didn't see what happened.
Which that is the responsibility and the area of the closest ref at the top.
It seems like his first interest was telling Coach Durstein to get back in the box.
That foul was on 24, Nicole Borgelt. It was on the floor just before Ryan Heft attempted a shot.
Heather Melton and Caitlin Gamble into the game for Katie Larsh and Chelsea Oberly.
Just 24 seconds left in this first half. Ashland's really taken off, 22-13. Mavericks need to score on this possession, and that's another example. Heather Melton did not go to the ball, And Luerman stole it once again. I believe that's her 3rd or 4th steal of the night.
They're going to go after every ball, no matter if it's theirs or not, and they're not going to get any fouls called on them unless the Mavericks start beating passes.
Exactly. Just 6 seconds, and Ashland feeds it inside. Angela Liggett does get the rebound, and Hallie Hedrick quickly shoots it from half court. It goes wide, and leaving for halftime, Mavericks are down 13-22. Ashland had 2 quick 3-pointers back-to-back that put them ahead, and they go into halftime with the momentum. We will be back after this break for the 3rd quarter of action. Welcome back to the second half of action between the Kiowa County Lady Mavericks and the Ashland Lady Blue Jays. The score right now is 13-22, Mavericks trail. They came out to an early lead first quarter, but Ashland came back, tied it up, and then hit some real key threes right before halftime.
Ashland's back in their zone, which is again to Hallie Hedrick's favor as she hits a 3-pointer.
Exactly, and that's what you talked about early on in the game, that she thrives in that zone and she has to utilize it, and she just did. That gives her 8 points. Kanan Endicott has really taken this game though. She has 13 for Ashland, just a junior. She really knows how to find those scoring opportunities. Caitlin Gamble got the rebound, but it was called a jump. Ashland takes it out under their basket. That was a very loosely run play, but the Mavericks have just kind of quit playing at different times during this game.
Absolutely no one blocked out on that last shot, and then they decided to and gotten over the back call. It's as simple as that.
Exactly, and Heather Melton really just settled to stand there. She didn't try to get that rebound, and with her height and her rebounding ability in past games, they have to have her do that.
Cara Reimer just took herself out of the game with her 3rd foul. Pretty early in the second half to be getting a 3rd foul.
And she really hasn't seen much playing time, so it's hard to know where she's getting these fouls.
To me, it feels like every time she's in the game, she gets one, and then she comes right back out.
Ryan Heft made a good fake on the shot, but she still seems to be forcing it. She gets her own rebound and takes it up again. It is off on Ashland under their basket. Whereas in other games where Heft catches and shoots a really relaxed shot, she seems to be pushing it up too much tonight, and they haven't been falling. Caitlin Gamble takes in a shot, and Heather Melton tips off the rebound and gets a good shot off the block.
That's her 6th point. She hasn't scored in a long time. The Mavericks could really use her help down low.
That's part of why they scored so earlier on, or came with the lead so early on, because of those 4 points. But I think that was probably the first 2 minutes of the game.
The Mavericks look to be running a box and one on Endicott. Dina Liggett seems to be sticking on Endicott, and the rest of the team seems to be in a zone.
That is a well-strategized play by Stacy Durstein, because Endicott's leading her team. The other seniors for Ashland aren't afraid to shoot, though. But Mavericks have, when they decide to, picked up their defense.
Dina Liggett's a great defender. She has 2 fouls, so she's going to have to be smart playing man defense.
Exactly. She has such an aggressive type of play about her that she can get those quick fouls that she doesn't necessarily mean to get, but they really call them on her.
She can be a little overly aggressive at times.
Yes. Caitlin Gamble subbed herself out of the game. I'm not sure if she was just tired or if something was going on. Oh, Katie Larsch got the rebound right under the basket, but it rolls in and out.
Caitlin ran to the locker room, so I think
something must have been happening. Maybe a contact. She didn't look to be in pain.
No.
The hustle plays from the Mavericks are causing Ashland's trouble, and Ashland has called a timeout, and we'll be back right after this commercial break.
Find a new vehicle and you aren't quite sure where to start? Dwayne Shank Motors on Highway 54 in Greensburg not only sells new Chevrolets, but late quality used cars in most makes and models. Trade in your vehicle and drive away with knowing that the Shank family has been serving the surrounding area since 1973. If it is time to get that service you've been needing, with professional certified mechanics, you are sure to get that quality care your vehicle deserves. Start shopping for your next vehicle today at Dwayne Shank Motors on Highway 54 in Greensburg.
We're back from the short timeout called by Ashland Lady Blue Jays. Coming out after halftime, Mavericks started a little slow, but they're really giving problems to the Blue Jays, making aggressive plays against them, and I think Ashland's coach is frustrated because of that.
5 quick points by the Mavericks and no score by Ashland really helps too.
Yes, 18 to 22. I was beginning to wonder whether Mavericks would be able to get back in this game, but they've chipped away at the score and are quickly coming back. About halfway through that timeout, Caitlin Gamble came back from the locker room.
2 examples again of how active Ashland's hands are. They really have their hands out wide all the time when they're catching those passes.
They really make the court much smaller for Mavericks to be able to work with. Having their hands out constantly moving makes it harder to get those passes. You have to be very precise about where you're going to pass, and you have to be willing to work to get the ball.
Frantic play there by Ashland. Lots of forced, pretty ugly shots.
A play designed exactly for Endicott to get the 3. She hits it short.
The Mavericks really seem to be knowing what's coming, and they're really fighting through those screens.
That's the first time I've seen Endicott get pretty fired up. I think she's frustrated with herself and her team, trying to get them to get back in this game.
And I would imagine anytime someone's playing a box and 1 on you, the pressure is on you and you're just a little more stressed.
It has to be expected, though. When you're that talented of a player, willing to score and look for those opportunities, you're going to have the attention be on you.
Nice shot and rebound by Katie Larsh. Dishes it back out to Ryan Heft.
That's the second move that Ryan's made this half, where she adjusted, saw that she was covered, decided to make a fake and drive, and she didn't do that in the first half. She should be able to find some points because of it.
That was the first foul on Bailey Johnson.
Heft is on the line with her first free throw. Her shots don't have much arch on them right now. They're pretty abrupt.
If you watch her, to me, she looks pretty tired, pretty winded.
And she's done a great job defending those point guards.
She's been asked to play a lot with a lot of her guard teammates being in foul trouble. She just has to stay in the game.
She is a dependable player. Heather goes after the rebound. Heather Melton for Mavericks goes after the rebound and tips it out of bounds. Ashland picks it up, and Mavericks puts on another press, trying to trap in the back court. And they get it well covered. That was great defense from the Mavericks. Elizabeth McKinney, senior for Ashland, was not sure how to answer. She got trapped right under her basket, and a jump ball gives it back to the Mavericks.
Inbound plays have really been a struggle for the Mavericks today.
Pass back to Hallie Hedrick for a 3 on the baseline. It goes long. Dina Liggett could quite possibly have been called for an over the back on that play, but it goes out of bounds on Ashland.
Ashland really being aware of Hallie Hedrick. They know she's the shooter for the Mavericks.
Dina Liggett is also willing to take those shots and try to make some things happen for her team. Ryan Heft gets a hand on the shot on the wing from McKinney. I appreciate that move from Caitlin Gamble. One thing that Stacy Durstein stresses, I know from past experiences, not to let her post dribble.
Especially in the open backcourt where there's really no need.
Quick rebound from Ashland. They try to make transition points, but Luerman pulls it back out. Heft gets a rebound, pushes it up the court. She gets called for a carry, but I could see that she was trying to almost act like she was setting it up and then take it back hard to the basket. That might have been an error just from being tired and not having quite enough energy to make it work.
Yeah, she's playing really hard, but she's, again, having to help press and run the offense. And
Dina Liggett brings a lot of energy to the top of the press, but they weren't able to hold that press, and Ashland broke it. Which a press doesn't necessarily mean it's only successful if you steal the ball. If you slow the team down, that's successful too. Elizabeth McKinney takes a shot right at the top of the free throw line.
that was her 5th point of the game.
7th.
Oh, I must have missed 2.
She's been pretty consistent, scoring pretty wide range throughout the game. Foul on Ryan Heft. That is her 2nd foul for her team. I think more than anything, she just needs a break.
Doesn't look like she's getting one anytime soon. But you don't see her complaining either.
No.
She's willing to take
she
on that
hasn't
role.
looked and asked. McKinney is a good ball handler, giving her team a chance to set up.
Again, I'm not sure any of the officials were counting a 5 count. Caitlin Gamble was playing tremendous defense.
And that's frustrating. That's when you know you've worked so hard for it and they're just not calling it. Foul is called. I think that was on Angela Liggett.
Yeah.
Putting number 24, Nicole Borgelt, on the line for Ashland. She misses her first free throw. And Stacy Durstein calls a 30-second timeout for the Mavericks. They are down 18-24, and we'll be back after the short commercial break. Welcome back to the end of the 3rd quarter. The Kiowa County Lady Mavericks trail 18-24 to the Ashland Blue Jays. One thing we were discussing before that timeout called by Stacy Durstein was we're not quite sure if any of the refs were calling the 5 seconds. Caitlin Gamble of the Mavericks were working really hard on defense, and it should have been a 5-second call, but was not. Cross-court pass is a tough one to make. It's picked off, and that is a quick layup made by Borgelt. 27-18. The points that the Mavericks were able to chip away right after halftime have become stagnant because they haven't scored since that spree. It's a 5-0 run from Ashland.
It's again just those little things. If the Mavericks would be willing to meet their passes, they'd start drawing some fouls against Ashland.
Hallie Hedrick takes a 3-pointer. That was almost a forced shot. I think she's trying to make some points for her team, which is a good thing, but if no one's ready to rebound, it can almost hurt you more than help if you don't make it.
Heather Melton's been a big rebounder for the Mavericks today, and she's not in right now, so a detriment to Hallie's shooting.
Borgelt steps up with a 3-point attempt. 3 Mavericks check into the game. Dina Liggett, Katie Larsh, and Heather Melton give all 3 seniors a break. Ryan Heft is still in the game. I don't think she's had a break even after we talked about it so long ago.
I don't either. I saw her look towards the bench, maybe just hoping she was going to get a sub. Not happening.
Even being tired, she's still consistent and still playing great defense.
Just the sign of a great leader.
That was a great take into the basket. Left-hand side, she faked a 3-point, dribbled around, drove in, got the bank shot. Just 40 seconds left in this quarter. Ryan Heft is being challenged in the backcourt, and another 30-second timeout called by Coach Durstein. It is 20-27. That shot brought Heft and the Mavericks within 7 points, but they really are inconsistent in their scoring.
But again, just like we were mentioning, Heather Melton comes into the game, the first thing she does is pull down a big rebound for the Mavericks.
And that's really what the Mavericks need, but I'm extremely impressed with Hef's ability. She is visibly fatigued. She looks really tired, but she still was able to transition, make a good fake, take it to the basket. I'm sure she was probably trying to draw a foul, but she got the 2 points.
She could use a little help getting the ball up the court because that last play there were 3 Ashland Blue Jays on her as she was trying to break the press alone.
And one thing that the Blue Jays are excelling in is consistency. They are consistently scoring, they're consistently getting the rebounds, they're consistently taking steals, and it's just chipping away at Mavericks' energy and their score.
Go.
A nice tip pass from Heather Melton. That was a unique play. I think she knew she didn't have time to catch it, tipped it over to Heft, who dumped it off really quick on the backside, getting 2 points. Mavericks are now within 5, 19 seconds left in the third quarter.
It's one of those great plays you don't always see in girls basketball, but it's always fun to watch.
Exactly, very athletic. Very few players out there would have been able to make that play work. Melton is an excellent volleyball player, so I think she used some of those skills to make it happen. An attempt at a three-pointer falls short, as does Kanan Endicott's last-second jumper. It is 22-27. Mavericks still trail, and we will be back after the short break for the fourth quarter.
The Kiowa County Museum is located in the Commons building on Main Street in Greensburg. Entering the lobby of the Commons, you will see the first of many exhibits. A fully functioning soda fountain that was originally in Hunter Drug. Other exhibits inside the museum include a buffalo head, a windmill, old-style clothing, and many, many more. The museum also includes a miniature theater located in the middle of the museum.
Knowing the most about the exhibits is the director of the museum, Jim Crowley. He came to Greensburg because of the rare opportunity to direct a new museum. One of his favorite exhibits in the museum is the military exhibit because it represents all the surrounding counties that have fought in previous wars. In the recent tornado in 2007, the old museum lost 80% of these exhibits. Newer artifacts have been donated by members of the community, one of which is not on display yet. A 136-year-old pump organ that was donated by a private owner. In its original stay in 1876, it was made with pig intestines, but has since then been restored. The museum is full of neat surprises, so come see it for yourself Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5, and on Saturdays from 9 to 2.
We just started in on the fourth quarter. 22-27, Mavericks trail 5 points to the Ashland Lady Blue Jays. They have a renewed energy after a couple quick points scored by Katie Larsch, but an incredible play made by Heather Melton. Mid-air tip to her teammate.
Great effort there by Katie Larsch going to meet the ball, and she was fouled, and that's what we've talked about all game. If the Mavericks would start doing that, they'd start collecting some fouls.
One thing I almost mentioned earlier is that I think the Mavericks are tentative. They don't realize that even if the ball is in the air, they still have possession. And if they go after the ball and Ashland makes contact, it's automatically a foul on them. Dina Liggett gets it right in the middle of the lane. Pass back and forth from Katie Larsch, who goes after rebound. She's working really hard right now, Katie Larsch. Turnaround jumper in the lane by Caitlin Gamble, 24-27, just down 3 points, 7:15 left in this game.
Well, Coach Durstein told us before the game that Katie Larsch has been a really big part of the team lately. Lots of great play from her.
Kanan Endicott got that rebound, but she looks to be a little bit fatigued herself. I think probably working so hard against the box and one throughout the third quarter. It's worn her down, and that's good news for the Mavericks.
She's had to fight really to get the ball and get open, so she's just forcing some shots that maybe just aren't natural to her.
And that's where her experienced teammates have to step up and figure out how to score for her. And that's exactly what number 20, Cara Reimer, just did. She's been on the bench most of the game, so she has quite a bit of energy. Worked around that tough defense, scoring 2 points. Her first of the game. Mavericks need to continue utilizing those quick passes that helped them score last time. And Heather Melton does a great turnaround jumper.
She had a great seal on her defender, but she again turned high and then turned back low.
It is her comfort. I think she does it almost second nature. That's one thing you have to work on in practice, is to break those habits and figure out something else. Mavericks are looking for a steal. Ashland is doing a great job working the ball around. The three seniors are playing off of each other.
I think they're really just trying to use some time off the clock as they're up. They can choose carefully when they want to shoot.
2-point shot. Oh, that should have possibly been a foul of some kind against the Mavericks on Kanan Endicott. She fell to the floor, but a travel wasn't called and a foul wasn't called. Hef checks back into the game for Gamble. She had a short break finally. I would imagine she probably won't see the bench again for the rest of the game.
I wouldn't either. Not in a game this close and as important as she is to this team.
Ashland seems to have more strength with Reimer in the game, something they haven't gotten to use much of. She takes it into the basket, but Mavericks do get a hand on it. It is called out of bounds on the Mavericks, though I think it might have gone off on Reimer's leg. Ashland does have it under the basket. Thought for a second there that nobody was going to pick up Reimer and she'd have a clear shot at the basket. But Heather gets around, deflects a pass, and McKinney finds another jumper in the lane.
Her 9th point of the night. She's really started to score this second half.
That's something she needed to do, step up, as Endicott has quit scoring. She hasn't scored a single point in the second half. And Hallie Hedrick shoots way beyond the arc. The refs have a slight discussion about which way the ball should go. They originally called it off on Mavericks, but it is Mavericks' ball.
I don't have a very good angle, but I think it was tipped by one of the Ashland players.
That was a close pass from Heather Melton, almost picked off toward Dina Liggett, who takes a quick shot, almost made a banker. Ashland gets the rebound. As Reimer on the rebound, you're starting to see that she's probably a strong post for Ashland when she's able to play the game. She has played very few minutes this game. Ashland, as you mentioned earlier, I think is trying to waste some time. Mavericks need to play good defense, which they did not do on Reimer just now.
I don't think the Mavericks have a lot of experience running a box and one, probably.
And so they haven't seen Reimer play, so they haven't had an entire game to adjust to her play, and she's really has a lot of energy. Able to score, I think, 4 quick points. 33-26. Mavericks are now down 7. Dina Liggett takes it in a little bit too hard. Heather Melton short on the rebound, and a 3rd foul called on Ryan Heft.
Looks like Heather Melton might have been fouled on that last shot.
But to get that shot, I think she might have been over the back, so.
I know it looked that way, but I'm not sure that the Ashland player blocked out.
Blocked out. If there's no contact, even
yeah.
if you're behind and you get the rebound, that's not an over the back. You're correct.
She did clearly reach over, but I'm not sure there's much contact.
And that's one thing the crowd isn't usually aware of. Anytime somebody gets a rebound behind them, they want it to be an over the back, but it has to have contact. Ashland has control of this game right now. Even though Mavericks are working really hard, they're passing, they look comfortable, they have a 7-point lead.
It's smart though, the more tired the Mavericks get, the harder it is for them to run an offense, just everything gets more difficult. Ashland's trying to force them into man defense.
And with this level of defense they're trying to hold up, that wears them out too. Hallie Hedrick takes it down the sideline. Cross-court pass to Heft. And the foul is called against Ashland. Number 21, Shelby Luerman, picked up her first foul. That is surprising that that's her first foul. As an aggressive of a player as she just is very smart. Caitlin Gamble has a great steal underneath, but she turned the wrong way. She had a wide open shot, chose to turn and missed her opportunity.
That might be partly as Caitlin's new role is more of a post this year. She's had a lot of experience playing a guard, but she's just new to the post area this year.
Exactly. She doesn't have a lot of height, but I'd say she probably works harder than most of the posts on the team.
She makes up with her aggressiveness.
And that is a full timeout from Ashland. They lead 33-26, 2:07 left in the fourth, and we'll be back after this commercial break.
Let Southern Plains Co-op take the worry out of choosing corn and soybean seed. For powerful performance at harvest, we know Mycogen seeds deliver. Global breeding and vigorous testing results in hybrid seeds with guts. That's true value that makes a difference. Maximize your seed investment for higher yields at harvest. Choose Mycogen hybrids from Southern Plains Co-op in Greensburg. At Southern Plains, we deliver service and Mycogen seeds.
I want to recognize Greensburg State Bank, a good bank in a good town. You can visit them at bestbank.us. We have just 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in this fourth quarter. It's been a very competitive game between the Kiowa County Mavericks and the Ashland Lady Blue Jays. Ashland leads 33-26. It may not be very many points, but the way they're playing right now, they look comfortable. They're wasting quite a bit of time when they have the possession, and Mavericks really are struggling. They're tired. They're not able to connect on their shots when they do have the ball. They're really going to have to make something happen if they expect to come back in this game.
Exhaustion seems to be a really big factor in this game.
Which this late in the season is kind of uncommon. The team should be in good shape. They have worked hard, though, and that can wear you out more than anything.
It's probably to Ashland's credit, though, really. They rebound so hard, they go after every ball, and it's just making the Mavericks play a little harder than maybe they're used to.
I think one of the biggest changes in this fourth quarter is the addition of Reimer. She sat on the bench most of the game with 3 fouls, picking them up quick when she was in the game, but she scored 4 points when she's been in, and those are 4 points that is separating them right now.
The Mavericks have matched up in a man. They're trying to foul. The officials, I guess, do not feel like they're hard enough fouls to call anything.
Exactly. Finally, a foul is called with 1:35 left in the game. There might have been a couple push-offs from McKinney on Hallie Hedrick. Either way, there was contact that wasn't called. Angela Liggett checks out of the game. Coach Durstein is really encouraging her girls to pick up a foul, get the ball, something. They need to make something happen. A foul is called against a very weary-looking Hallie Hedrick. There are only 4 fouls for either team. They aren't anywhere close to double bonus. Ryan Heft is working hard. Heather Melton just didn't see the ball on that. She could have easily had a hand on it.
The Mavericks really need to foul quickly here. There's not a lot of time left in this game. They're trying to.
The fouls are not being called. Finally, the down ref called the foul. Reimer is now on the line for Ashland. Reimer makes her first free throw. Hallie Hedrick checks back in the game for Katie Larsh. Eight points separate these two teams right now with just a minute 8 left in the game. Reimer makes her second shot, putting it into a 9-point ball game. I'd imagine that Hallie Hedrick will look to score quickly here. They've got to look for a shot. I'm not quite sure why they haven't taken it in. Heather Melton tries, but it falls quite short. And Mavericks do get it back under their basket. There doesn't seem to be a proper urgency with the Mavericks right now. If they're not scoring, they're not going to have time to make 9 points.
Feels like no one is willing to score besides Hallie, which is going to not work for them.
Heather Melton does take it straight down the lane, quick 2 points. They have to put pressure on, only 40 seconds left in the game. They need to get a foul called, but Ashland is quick with the pass. Hallie Hedrick picks it off. She passes it under to Caitlin Gamble, who makes a move and is fouled.
Another one of those instances where Caitlin spun high, and if she would have spun low, she would have scored.
If she could perfect her power dribble straight to the basket, she would score quite a few more points than she does. Gamble is on the line. It might be too little too late for the Mavericks. They're still down by 7, 27 seconds left in the game. A missed free throw for the first shot. Katie Larsch back in for Hallie Hedrick.
Feels like they're trying to keep Hallie fresh and let Katie come in and play some defense and put Hallie back in on the offensive side.
It's surprising to me, though, Hallie did not even attempt a 3-point shot. Second shot is made by Gamble. They need to come up with a quick foul here. 22 seconds left. Mishandle, and Gamble is called for the foul. 6 points with 18 seconds left. I really think that if Mavericks would have picked up that intensity earlier on in this fourth quarter, they could have made this a game. And as you said, Hallie Hedrick is now back in, kept fresh.
They really did a great job on Endicott. They kept her at 13 points, and she had 13 points in the third quarter. She hasn't scored.
What they could not have expected, though, was Reimer coming into the game, having so much energy and scoring those quick 4 points that I think got to the Mavericks mentally more than anything. Hallie Hedrick is pushing it up the sideline, trying to look for a 3-point shot. Heft looks for a 3. It's way short. She's just so tired on the sideline. Katie Larsch is back in for Hallie Hedrick. I think Stacy Durstein's trying to play Katie on defense and Hallie on offense. And 5 seconds will expire. Ashland is going to end up winning this game. 36-29 is the final.
Heather Melton wrapped up the game with 10 points, Hallie Hedrick with 8. For Ashland, Endicott had 13 points, McKinney had 9.
It really looked in the first half like Endicott was going to take off and come out with many more than 20 points, but Maverick shut her down in the second half. Their box and one was effective, but the other Maverick leaders stepped up, or the other Ashland leaders stepped up. They scored those needed points, and Mavericks could not answer. I want to recognize a Twitter that was sent into the media center. It says, "It's great to see the Maverick Lady squad healthy this late in the season. There were injuries in past seasons. Hallie Hedrick was injured last year, and it is true. They are a strong team, but they really need to capitalize on their strengths and find out a way to score."
We'll be back Friday against the Hodgman Longhorns.
We will. We'll be back just in a few days, so be sure to tune in and join us at 6:30 this Friday. Kiowa County Lady Mavericks at home against Hodgman County, February 8th. Thank you for joining us. This is Kiowa County Media Center, and we will see you on Friday.